This episode of the ZuLoo Pōōdcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
35 hours.
35 hours later, people were complaining, I can't go to the bathroom, And on a train, at least you have maybe some options. You can go all the way up to, there's not more than one toilet on a train, most of them. Or I guess you could always hang out the window if you really had to.
Wow.
You can't do that on a plane though. Don't recommend that.
Don't recommend doing that on an airplane.
Welcome to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humor, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey, ZuLoo friends, welcome back. We are excited to give you an update on some of our projects. Well, not us, but Meera, head of SAPIT, our partner there in India. So you'll get to hear mine and Darren's conversation with Meera from earlier. And it's just always a joy to talk with Meera. I mean, she's such a light. You can see how much she cares for people. As soon as you look into her face, it's just like these little beams of angel eyes.
Wow.
Yeah,
I know, but that's how I feel when I talk to her.
And all of her team was there, and seeing all their smiles, that was super great. So
it was super great.
It's fun. Always great to connect with them and find out what's happening in India. So we're, as you'll hear in the interview, building toilets and drilling water wells and doing that kind of thing.
Helping fams. Yeah, but before we do that,
it's what it's all about, right?
That's what this is all
this
about.
Poodcast stuff is just fun, but the really important stuff is happening.
This is just us hanging out.
It's just us hanging out, trying to bring some attention, some awareness to let Meera do her amazing work.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I think she won the Mother Teresa Award again.
Oh wow!
Again for
the
8th time. So crazy.
That's incredible.
She is. Yeah, she's an incredible woman, and she'd never tell you though that she'd won it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to kind of drag it out of her.
We do.
Yeah, I got this stacked up in the back. Oh, Mother Teresa Award. Oh, that's nice. It's kind of like getting an Oscar here, right? It's like, what?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, before we hop in though with that update, Darren, you've got an update for us with some poo news.
So we're all talking about India today, and Meera's all good news. We have some mixed news out of India.
Uh-oh.
Some good news and bad news. Which one do you want first?
Let's start with the bad and end on a good note.
I like that.
Good idea. So the bad news is that they this is a train traveling across northern India that found a dead man's body in the toilet after about 35-hour journey.
Oh, wait, what? 35 hours in a train?
And nobody used that bathroom
and nobody
in
noticed?
35 hours?
No, the problem was the man went into the bathroom and locked the door, and then to go to the bathroom, and then
Expired. 35 hours.
35 hours later,
Okay.
people were complaining, I can't go to the bathroom. And on a train, at least you have maybe some options. You can go all the way up to, there's not more than one toilet on a train, most of them. Or I guess you could always hang out the window if you really had to.
Wow.
You can't do that on a plane though. Don't recommend that.
Don't recommend doing that on an
But
airplane.
anyway, apparently, unfortunately, this is, again, may he rest in peace. But yeah, they thought, well, that maybe whoever's in there is doing a lot of business.
35 hours worth of
But they did start to complain of the smell after a while. Anyway, 35 hours is a while. That's a long time.
I mean, you kind of want him to be on the toilet, though. Hopefully he didn't fall off. He probably fell off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really say if he was still sitting or in there. But anyway, so that they finally had when they finally got to the destination, everybody got off the train, and they had to break the door down, and
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That's awful.
our fellow passenger expired. But
That is bad.
that's probably
That is
how
very bad news.
I think it had how am I going to go? It's probably really like that. It's probably some,
that's your top pick.
some train in India.
At least you're having an adventure.
In your favorite room.
Hopefully you guys on the podcast will make a mention. Yes, remember that guy, David Mangum? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy. He just died on a train in the toilet.
You don't want to be on a boat on a toilet? Sailing?
Yeah, that would be better.
That'd be better, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But usually if I'm in a boat,
You're sailing.
I'm driving the thing.
Yeah.
You don't take breaks to...
I try not to. I try to, if you ever go sailing, I try to go before I go get out on the water because have you ever gone to the bathroom on a boat?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Especially on a sailboat when everything's leaning to one side. It's a little, talk about space toilets.
Yeah, that would be wild.
Yeah, a little challenging. But anyway, we do have good news out of India though, too. Well, you know Sesame Street, right? They have Sesame Street India,
Cute.
which has some of the same characters, but some other characters that I don't know. What are their names? Anyway, they've teamed up with a toilet company over there to start bringing teaching healthy toilet habits to children's 3 to 8 years old.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is very cool.
So they're purposely putting on programming. To talk about the toilet. It says engaging 17.5 million children across India. They say it says here 241 million preschool and school-aged children in India are at risk of infection from worms, and an average of, says 4 to 17% of students are absent every day due to illnesses related to hygiene toilets, right? And we've talked about, keeping them out of school and things like that, but it's a real deal. That's a lot of kids, right? 241 million. Yeah. Which is like most of America, right? I mean, anyway, so they have, and we'll put a link to this in our show notes, but they're putting on, programming, teaching kids how to use a toilet and encouraging them to use one. These are with Muppets. I guess it's, anyway, just trying to teach them about more awareness that way.
That's awesome. I learned so many things from Sesame Street when I was a kid.
Yeah.
For real.
For real. That's the way to do. I mean, my toddler right now, she's learning to talk and she's learning what things are. And I draw connections all the time when I'm watching her show with her. She's learning the words and how to do things through that. So it is.
It seems like a really obvious avenue to teach kids that, for whom maybe this isn't an obvious thing. They don't have anyone to model it for them or whatever.
Yes.
So that's a great solution.
Yeah. And sometimes as parents, we forget that our kids need a little bit of very clear step-by-step explanation, right?
Yeah.
After we use the restroom, we wash our hands with soap and water because kids, they're just a blank slate. They only know what we teach them. And so you're right. If parents
can't skip any details.
Can't skip any details. But we often do. And this is a great help.
Way to go, Sesame Street.
Yeah. So if you're in India or you're tuning into Indian TV, you can find Elmo, Cookie Monster, which I'm familiar with. Also Raya and Chamki, who maybe those are unique.
new to the cast, at least for us.
At least maybe they're popular in India, but these are the Muppet characters that are going to be.
Is Gordon over there? Remember Gordon and Maria?
I remember.
Still around?
Bert and Ernie, are they still around?
Bert and Ernie.
I don't know if Bert and Ernie got canceled.
Big
I love
Bird,
Bert and Ernie.
Big Bird.
We hope they're all still there.
Yeah.
We love that.
Anyway, so tune in to your Sesame Workshop India if you get that on your Netflix or wherever you get it. So.
I love it. Well, let's hop into Meera's interview and hear what her update is. Well, Meera, welcome back to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. We're so excited to talk to you today.
Me too. We are very excited to share our experiences, our progress, and our partnership with ZuLoo.
Yeah, let's just dive in. What has Sapid been up to the last couple of months?
Yeah, we have done a couple of programs, water and sanitation is one. that is in the urban areas, but ZuLoo also supported through other agencies on flood rehabilitation, where the entire area was flooded, and then everybody lost every house was drowned in the water, and then the only food security was agriculture, and ZuLoo came forward to support them with because they lost everything, the basics, the clothing, the vessels, everything was lost, and the basic amenities and all. So ZuLoo came forward and supplied them with the basic material, like they didn't have soaps to wash, they didn't have detergent, they didn't have anything. Everything was underwater. So ZuLoo came forward and supported us with a package of basic things, which was required immediately. And that really took them off to start with fresh life. And that was one program which was very successful. And secondly, the most important is like water and sanitation. So we had 3 bore wells done. And fortunately, we could save some money. So we are going for the 4th bore well with your kind permission, which I've already informed Derek. So water is like, when we have made a basic survey of this community, there was 100 houses. But living families was hardly around 45 to 50. So we questioned them, why is that, 50% of the people don't live here? So everyone, it was like, unanimous answer, there was no variation at all. Everybody said we don't have water, we don't have sanitation. So because of that, we have to pay more by living in other places where we have this space. So they have taken houses for rent, and in spite of having their own houses, own shelter, they have to pay rent and then stay elsewhere. The moment when we said we dug a bore well, within a week time, almost 28 families, that means another 28% moved in. That means 73% within 1 week, what was 45, 50 moved to 78%. And today, except for 5 to 6%, everybody came back to their own houses. Water. And now sanitation, they say, we are very happy. We can invite our families. We can, send our children to schools. We can, because this is our own house, we can plan it very well. So water and sanitation is bringing them back to their own houses. And this will drastically, reduce their expenses. Because around 20 to 30% of their income earning will go to by paying rent. Now they don't have to pay the rent because they come back to their own houses, and they're very happy that they have access to water and sanitation at their doorstep. So we this year we are going for a 20 toilet, which is almost 40% done. So another 60% to go. Because we were busy doing flood rehabilitation and other emergency relief work. So we have to really postpone this for a couple of weeks. So that's the thing, is that we have started only a month ago. So it's all halfway done. Borewells is completed. And we have a proper survey, what was before and what is the status now. So this is the status, 45% to 95%, they came back. And people are enjoying water. People are now able to take up sanitation, and people participation is 100%. And so this is what, the basic is it's not this thing, the social economic status increased now, because they will be able to spend whatever the rent amount they were spending to their family for nutrition, for school education, and for the well-being of the family.
I know I want a 20 to 30% raise. That sounds great. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we have a proper statistical data.
Yeah.
We have a proper statistical before and after.
Love it.
So, and it was like a household survey. Each house was surveyed before taking up this project. And after the borewell, again, re-survey was done along with a focus group discussion. Focus group discussion is what exactly you feel before water and now after water. So they talked about their health situation. Each of them had their own experiences. They said first thing is our families. We are able to invite our families, because India is very rich in getting together, families. So they go to each other houses very often for very small celebrations. So, like they said, we are able to invite our families. Our children are secure and safe in our own houses because we have our own community people around. So there's so many, social, economic, cultural, all this, Now we can see there is a real good scope for their happiness.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great, Meera. We're so excited that the projects are moving forward, and and that flood relief program, that was a direct result of some of the generosity of some of our donors, especially Young Living Foundation, Arturo, who you know well, who we had on the Poodcast a little while ago. That's super great. Yeah, speaking of family togetherness, how was Happy Diwali? Hope you had a great holiday.
Thank you.
How was the holiday there? Were people able to enjoy the holiday?
Yes, it was very good. And today is a small Diwali. So we have the bigger celebrations, and today is a smaller day. They call it a small Diwali. Today also is a festival. And today also is Guru Nanak Day, birthday. That is a celebration for Sikhs. We have Sikh community here. So they will be celebrating their festival today. That is Guru Nanak Jayanti.
Okay, awesome. Maybe you could share with us. Maybe you could share with us a story or two of some specific families that have benefited from the water so far, or some of the toilet projects.
Yeah.
Do any come to mind?
First I will talk to you about a family. The head of the family is a person who is physically challenged person. He cannot walk. He had a polio when he was a child. And then his wife is pregnant, 5 months pregnant. And so for him, getting water, a pregnant lady going around 2 kilometers and getting water was because she was pregnant with some kind of a health complication. So it was very difficult for them. And he, being a physically challenged, physically handicapped person, he was not able to really go. But, we could see him, taking a bicycle, and putting one pot of water and, limping and walking and all. So it was it was a very sad situation for him, going 2 kilometers, limping with the bicycle support. And it was very difficult for him to support the bicycle and, limping and then getting the water. We asked him, so he was the first one who, when the borewell was drilling, he was the first one who came and stood in front of us. He said he was very happy, screaming, when the moment when the water flashed up, he was the one who said, hooray, yay, that. Then I just looked at him. So he was telling, he was crying. I said, why are you crying? Said, ma'am, you are seeing me going 2 kilometers limping, and at most of the time, my pot of water used to get stopped. Then again, I had to go back and all, because balancing the bicycle and the pot of water was very difficult for me. And only I know the pain, because it was a sort of a sight for you, but it is not so. It is a pain and all. And my wife, in spite of being with a health complication, being 5 months pregnant, she also used to come along with me, bring the 2 pots of, they usually carry it on the head. So 2 pots of water, one on the other. And, and that actually increased her health complication, but water being an important source. So we had to suffer. And he said, this is it is it is not like just giving water. It is like giving us, an heaven to us. This is what he said, it's like a heaven to us. We don't have to go. I don't have to suffer. My wife don't have to suffer. Now we have access to water. And first thing he just said, thanks to the donors. And we said it is a ZuLoo. He said, thank you to ZuLoo. He just, dropped his head on the ground and then, what we pray to the God. So he said, we don't see them, but it is like, praying to the God, they gave us the water. They listen to our pain. They listen to our prayers. So that is what, when they talk that, the tears will automatically roll, it's not so simple to explain. But when you really see, that emotions and all, it's very, 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 very scary sometimes. But when they feel very happy, automatically, the tears will roll and, we just hug them and then we feel very happy. So that is one family. And then there's one old lady, couple. Both of them are old. They literally beg themselves to just give us one bucket of water, one pot of water. But every house, they go and beg, So because they are very old, around 75 and 80 years, they give them, because they also feel bad about it, but they give. But they say, we also have to go and get 2 kilometers away. So it's not very easy for us to give you every day. So on a rotation, he used to go, with 2 buckets of water. He says, I used to do sponge bathing. And in India, sponge bathing, it is really stinks because of lot of humidity and sweat. You really need to have a shower. So I used to say we never could take a bath. We used to do it once in a week and all. So he said, look at my skin. I have all allergies. So now he says, and the borewell is just very close to his house. So he says, I can just pick up. Now I can give water to every house who supported. So the old couple, that is what, the old couple, the women with girl children and, physically handicapped, pregnant women. All these are very, 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 very important beneficiaries to us. And now they have access to water. And same thing with sanitation also. Sanitation is we focus on the families with adolescent girls. And as we discussed with you, it's a very scary case. A lot of abuse, a lot of e-teasing. And apart from there are snake bites, scorpio bite, bee bite, so many things. And because it is very closely situated near the dump yard, and they have their very big, factory, the watchman and the security guard fell stones on them. The moment they said spat, they just fell stones on them. And it is so embarrassing for the women and young girls. And they walk miles together, finding some kind of a bushes, some kind of a secure place. But it's very difficult to find because there are a lot of houses and all. And boys usually they wait to abuse the girls, to tease the girls, and to make fun of them and all that. So that is mental, psychological depression they go through, especially the young girls and the women, young women. And as we already discussed, there were 1 or 2 cases of rape cases, and of course it went. And now, the community formed themselves as a committee, and they guard the places so that the others don't know if we are trying all different methods. Providing some kind of monitoring the situations and all that. But somebody has to pay time because everybody are daily wage labor. If somebody has to guard, they have to lose their daily wage. So it's not very easy. But still, people are trying to, because there were too many girls there in that community. Now, where we have taken up so many girls in the community. And now mostly the families with the girls were staying elsewhere. Now they return. As I said, 45% now they return. So the girls also feel very happy that they have a toilet. Toilet is as good as having your own house. That a 5-foot structure, for them, it's like having a sort of a house. It's going to be a secure property for them. And their house value also increased. What it was 100,000 is now it is around 150,000. So the value of the house also increased. The family, and there was lot of conflict between the community. So they used to get a water tank by paying some money. And when the water tank comes, everybody rushes with the buckets and, hit each other to get a pot of water. And you know what? There was like harmony in the community, became a conflict coming, fighting each other because I want more water, I want. So these kind of conflicts, the situation. So now there is no conflict situation. So they have access. They have now contributing for the pipeline connection. Every household will have a pipeline connection and will have a tap at their places. Otherwise, they have a community tanker, so where they can collect water. So anytime they can collect. It's not that there's a specific time. And so they have access to water and they have access to sanitation at their doorstep. So these things great. Are very happy stories. And there's 0 to 100. It's like that, but nothing to you have some text, which is very, very, very important. Like water and sanitation is the most important what we have seen in the community. See, I mean, as I said, this thing is socio-economic, cultural aspect. Now they can have some kind of festivals. They can have some kind of get-together because they have access to water.
That's great. That's super great. Great report. Super excited to come. Hopefully next Diwali we can come visit you, and
that will be awesome.
That's definitely on our calendar. Meera, we only have a couple minutes left, and of course we're putting this on the podcast. Maybe if you could just summarize what you hope people that are listening to the podcast would know about what your work with ZuLoo is doing. Just briefly summarize that, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, actually, I shared with a lot of my friends, both in US and India, and they were shocked, because actually I'm not the person who keeps on talking about my work and all. I just go and do my work. See, I'm not a person of go for a publicity and all that. But when I shared and I requested them to look and and there was a good response. Whomever I they shared, they liked it. So they said, we didn't know that the situation is such situation, and then you come. So you help them to overcome such situations and all, and they really felt very happy about the ZuLoo, taking a very, very sensitive program, and they said it is very important in everybody's life to have a water and sanitation. And I actually became very popular. To be very frank, I became very popular, and people like my relatives, my cousins, my friends who did not know much about, they only knew I was running an organization doing social work. But after listening to my interview on the Facebook and all that, there was a huge appreciation, and they said, this is a real good work. And everybody started taking up in their own way. They said, okay, we also will look around. If anything necessary, I think we should really take up the program.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, we see how many downloads our episodes get on YouTube, and yours is number one. The one we did with you last time.
Thank you.
And so you are very popular, and we're your biggest fans over here.
So I became popular because of ZuLoo Pōōdcast.
Well, Meera, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We look forward to working with you in the future. It's going to be great.
Yeah, will it be okay for you to just say hi to my team?
Yes, let's say hi to your team real fast while we have 1 minute left. So, hello.
Hi, Darren. How are you?
Good to see you. Hello. Good to see you. Happy Diwali.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for Sapid. Thank you. We love you guys. We love you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Hope you have a great day. It was great to chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hey, Meera. Didn't I say she's just the angel
Would you
of
say
angels?
Angel eyes, beams of sunlight?
Beams of sunlight.
Mother Teresa herself.
Yeah.
Mother Teresa
Reincarnated.
herself.
If you never met Mother Teresa, you can just meet Meera. It's the same.
It's the same person.
The same little halo is floating out of her head. Yeah.
Yeah, she even said, "Yeah, this is so cute. I just have to talk up Meera because I can't say enough nice things about her. She's so sweet. I love that part in her interview where she's just like, yeah, I don't really care a whole lot about, talking about myself. I just like to get out there and do work." You go, girl. You go, girl. Maybe that's because American culture is a little bit more egotistical or egocentric.
It's the opposite of what we do.
Yeah, she's just so sweet. And you can see how much she genuinely cares about all the results that are coming from ZuLoo's efforts to make sure that people have clean water and clean sanitation. It's bringing families back to their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And that's the great thing about SAPIT is that we don't have to worry about, I wonder if the money is really going where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually saved money. They said that instead of drilling we sent over money for 3 wells, and they were able to get those 3 wells done for lower cost. And we actually have money for a 4th well. And she's asking me, are you okay if we drill like 1 more?
Please.
Please. Yeah, don't have to ask me, just do it. Okay. But, drilling a 4th well and, hearing some of the stories that are happening there. So it's super great.
Yeah. Yeah. I just have to say one last thing. Because I hadn't thought about it, right? She mentioned that families were literally having to leave their homes, the homes that they owned and lived in, because there wasn't adequate water or sanitation. Mm-hmm. And so having a bore well in their community, put back in their community, means that they get to come back to their homes. They don't have to pay rent to somebody else. They get to be in their home. And I just truly cannot imagine having to leave my home, maybe pay rent on top of a mortgage that I'm paying. I'm just trying to apply this to how this works in America, just because I don't have water.
Yeah.
But then that huge blessing of being able to come back to my home, back to my neighborhood, back to my community, the people I know and love who have supported me because there's finally water accessible to me. That's just absolutely life-changing. Mm-hmm. And that sense of security, knowing that you're not going to have to leave again. Wow. It's just amazing work. So we're grateful for SAPIT and all the good that they just continue to do.
Yeah, they always seem happy too. Like we're tuning in and they're always just like smiles.
Well, when you are improving people's lives, how can you be anything but?
Very fulfilling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining in for this update. Thanks for being here and supporting ZuLoo, supporting SAPIT, supporting people around the world who lack access to adequate sanitation. If you care about this cause, and we hope that you do, we think that you do, subscribe to the channel, post to your social media feeds, let people know this information that is so crucial to know, and tune in next week. We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Pōōdcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@zuloo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Pōōdcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at zuloo.com.